Yeah, I tell you what, I like that song. Kind of gets you jacked up on a early in the week on Tuesday night, ready to roll. Lots to go this week. You still got work days left. Nowhere near. It's not even a hump day yet. Tuesday's that day kind of in between. It's not a Monday. It's not a hump day. It's just kind of caught right in the middle. Thursday, you got Friday, hump day. It's the middle of the week. Tuesday's that day that everybody's like, oh, is Friday ever going to get here? Monday, you expect it. I mean, people are like, oh, it's Monday. Tuesday's that day where you just keep going on, but it just seems like a long week. But hey, tomorrow is hump day. Unless you work a weird schedule, tomorrow is hump day. Hope you've had a great day and having a great day wherever you are in whatever time zone you are. And this is the Southern Fried Podcast and the Cornbread Nation. And I'm the Cornbread Man, aka Dave in the AM. Just popping in for a little bit. Don't have a necessarily a show that we do later on Tuesday. Although I did not do a MAGA report tonight. I usually do that, but we were really busy with having a lot of issues and trying to get our racing show in, and we had a great time. It was just a little frustrating. Some technical difficulties that occurred. Those things happen, and they happened this morning, the whole day. So I was sitting here like, do I really want to go live? Because I really wanted to go live, but it's like, should I do it? So I just went Rumble Source. Usually we use StreamYard. I'm just going Rumble tonight. I'm going to go out to a few other things, going to chat for a little while, and then update the radio station. Yes, the Cornbread Nation Radio. Cornbread Nation radio station is up and active and is broadcasting 24/7 the Southern Fried, whether that's shows, whether that's music, whether that's commercials, whatever it is. It's all loaded up, and we refresh that a little bit every day. We're adding in shows, taking out some. You see a lot of merch items on that soon, the Cornbread Nation Radio Show. It's been a work to get it done, and we're still working on some things, but it sounds great, if I may say so. And we appreciate it. Appreciate Dean and the Southern or SFP Racing Hour, and we'll do sports a little later this week. Getting to be football season, this little cooler spell we've had. I love it. I like the fact that it is getting cooler out there. I know we'll have some hot days left, but it gives you hope. The hope that, hey, we're fixing to have the fall of the year, and then the leaves will be falling. Great camping weather, great cooking out weather, getting out and doing things weather. I cannot wait for that to happen. Don't forget tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. be the Cornbread Man Radio Show at 5 to 5:30. Then at 6, me and Rob go live from 6 to 7 with the SFP Morning Show. The SFP Morning Show. And then tomorrow night is Hump Day Views and the Southern Fried Vent. Hump Day Views will have a special guest who is friends with our guest from last week. And they're going to be doing he's going to be doing songs and telling his testimony. Then we'll wrap up with a good vent for the night, and talk about those things you're frustrated with, or they can be funny, whatever, or you're just aggravated. That's what it's for. The Southern Fried Vent Show. It's our newest show. There's a couple more coming, but that's the newest show. And Thursday night is the Cornbread Nation show. That's always a lot of fun for us. I hope it's fun for you, but it's always a lot of fun for us to do. And then we get into the weekend stuff, And Thursday morning is Patriot Morning Show with me. Tuesday mornings I do the Cornbread Man Morning Show. I do that, try to do it every day on MP3s, but we do it one day on the morning time, the Cornbread Man Morning Show. And it's not, I just popped in. I thought, I don't even know what I want to come in as. I'm just going to pop in and see who comes on. And hello, Miss Jen. How are you? I was flipping. I had it on campaigns, and so I didn't see your chat fly. And I hope you've had a good day. Did the cat get relocated? This is sort of a whatever you want to talk about now, whatever I have no really agenda, although I've got a couple things I could go down the path of, but it's just been, I needed a good ending. Today's just been like, It's just this morning everything went haywire. I don't know what happened. Then we had everything going haywire right before the show started. So it's just good to breathe and have a good night. And I did have a blessing earlier. Thank you, Angry Conservative 1981, and your fine feathered friends for rating the stream and coming to help all small folks, a small show at the Southern Fried. Thank you so much. So, did the cat get relocated? Or are you still holding on? Is it still kicking back and eating your food up and terrorizing the other cats at the old house there in Rome? Or is it had been delivered and now someone else is assuming our responsibility? Don't forget Animal Rescue Alliance in Donaldsonville, Georgia. Give those folks a look see and give them some help if you can. And we've got a special fundraiser going on. I like this. I'll be sending some myself by the end of the week. But donations to Animal Rescue Alliance, put in their promo code Chuck for Chuck the Cat, and for every dollar that's donated, Rob has to let the cat sleep in his room. He's agreed. Last night was day one of the cat story. $5 was donated, so that gets us into the weekend, and then they know to be looking for it, and we're looking forward to Cat Wars 2025. We'll see which cats come in and which cats stay out. You know what? For a dollar, you know what? He really messed up. I love it. I know he's trying to keep it cheap, but he could have said more. But for $1 a day, I think we can keep a cat in his room for the rest of the year. I mean, give up a coffee or something and donate for the week or something. I mean, coffees are high, especially if you go to one of them crazy ones. And just send it by PayPal to Animal Rescue Alliance to their website. Put in our promo code Chuck, and they're supposed to be keeping up with it and sending him the amount. And we could keep it going so long he'll never go back. I love it. I love it. I'm glad he's being a good sport about it. It was fun. We were just having some fun, but it also drives donations to ARA, which they need that. They need that. They need those things. It's expensive to run a no-kill shelter, always any shelter, but no kill, and they only take so many, and they need stuff. I mean, supplies, foods, cleaning materials. They have a deal with a vet down there that does the surgeries and stuff, and it's kind of a good deal they've had. I guess they still have that set up. I'm not sure. I need to reach out to them again. It's been many, many weeks since I have talked to them, but we do get updates from them. They've sent us some cats and dogs to highlight. We've been doing that, and hopefully somebody in the region can adopt them a good cat or a dog. And the one that we covered today was Fern, and Fern has been there the longest, over 900 days. Fern needs a home. But Fern doesn't need a home inside. She needs outside, running around. No cats, not a cat dog, but loves other dogs and people, loves to play. Get Fern a home. I can't believe this. This 11 dog. I can't believe this dog's been there that long. And I really didn't know two of those other dogs that had been there as long, because we highlighted Fern, and we did several. We did get back to that. I've been doing some, but for McCamey's up here, and we need to get back and do some of those dogs. I was trying to think some of those names. They stand out to me. I was thinking of Baja Blast. That was one of them. Oh, good grief. My brain today. It's all frazzled. I can't even think straight. But they were great dogs. We went down and did video, and the granddaughters got to play with them. And, oh, they ate that up. And, they didn't let all the dogs out, but they did let out a couple of the dogs. I mean, it'd be chaos trying to, I mean, they had quite a few dogs, different sizes, but those two got to come out. And there was another one. I'm trying to think. It was a collie. I'm trying to remember the name of it. But anyway, Baja was one, and that collie, it's on the tip of my tongue. Uh, oh my goodness. My granddaughter would remember that if she was in here, because she really loved both those dogs, but especially the collie. And she was wanting that dog, and then she wanted a cat, and we just weren't set up for it. We've already got a dog, and it doesn't play well with others. It don't even like me. It's a rescue. So it's went through some stuff. And so, pick up a dog. I mean, animal lovers do a great job. We need people, and I'm no expert, but we need people to do a great job in taking care of pets and animals, and all those things, and spay neuter, and you know nowadays what they're saying is that with the rise of people being deported, which they should be for those that are here illegally, but they've got dogs, and there's a great explosion of dogs needing homes. It has happened just during this time, and they just split and or are found and taken, and the dogs are left behind, and they're being picked up and taken to a shelter or something, and they're overloaded in some cities. So it's just one of those things you don't really think about. I'm amazed at the number of homeless people have dogs. They a companion, but I worry about the dog. I mean, a human, they get out there and they do their thing, and they sit out in the cold and the wet and everything else. But that dog, but they seem like they're well taken care of most of the time. There's a couple of nuts out there, and they needed to take the dog away, and they did, and they arrested the homeless person because they were mistreating the dog. And people were, it was one horrible scene I've witnessed myself, and I mean, it just made people sick at their stomach what they saw, and the police did a great job in handling that. And it was horrible. I won't even repeat it. It's the kind of story that just makes you real upset when you hear it. This guy's obviously mental, something wrong with him. He was mistreating the dog right in front of a Walmart. It's like, good Lord. People were coming out the doors. I mean, just ugly. But it's just situations like that. And in our region, we've had many, unfortunately, we've had several. I say many, several. Hundreds of animals, some dead, some alive, bad situations, and people have been arrested and going through the court system for the crimes they've committed against the animals. Just no reason for it, no call for it. They don't need to do that. I don't know why people would want to do that. Just find homes for them. I mean, why would you keep dogs and cats in bad situations? I mean, why? First of all, why would you do the animal that way? And secondly, why would you put yourself in a position to, being arrested? Just no sense in it. Just no sense in doing an animal that way. But I'm not here to figure it all out. I'm just here to say what has happened, and that is, what has happened. So it's a sad deal, and it's not just dogs and cats. There are others that are, definitely, animals that are mistreated. They find those, and they deal with that. Airports see a lot of that. Airports see a lot of stuff like that where they try to sneak animals in or out of the country for various reasons. Some of those for rarity, some of them for just because they want to take something home or transport it or whatever. Could be for breeding purposes or whatever. So they try to take it through the airport security, which is dumb, and they don't do that. Hey, for those that are local to me, and I don't know if anybody in here, just a handful of folks in here. We appreciate you being here. For those that are local to me, I was listening. I got an email sent to me for the power company that is the only option in my area. That they have a meeting, and they were trying to get people to attend the meeting, giving away $100 to a winner. But anyway, you could even do a virtual. So I was signing up to do it virtually. I don't think I'll win any money, but I'm gonna try to check it out. I read the magazine and everything, and I've always wondered how that kind of worked with the power that they purchase. Because if you go south of us a little ways, you get into Georgia Power, and they were saying that there is an agreement that goes way back decades ago that was made with TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, that does not allow them, even when TVA runs short of energy. There's been rolling blackouts in our area. There's this peak demand that we have, especially with the heat. And boy, they jacked up the rates too. My light bill jumped. But they said that even using our own transmission lines, because of the deal, we can't go out and outsource and get cheaper power. And so they were asking the people to vote on it and see if they're trying to get out of the deal. They're locked in. They can't maneuver. And this goes back Oh, I think to the 50s. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. And there are other power systems that they say has readily available power, can transfer it, and it's cheaper. And I don't think that's right. I think you should be able to do that. That's what makes competition, even among federal entities or whatever they are. If you can get a better deal, then go do it. And I did not know that, so I'm very interested to see how this vote goes. I don't know if I think right now it's just a vote, which everybody's a member. I mean, that's the way it is in these collectives and stuff like that. So we're all basically owners. But if they get enough to say do it, I guess they'll move forward with trying to break that agreement. I don't know. I'm sure that means a legal fight. So first of all, you gotta get the agreement of all those that will vote to say. And I don't see any way that this won't be voted for to be able to have this option. They're not trying to pull away from TVA for for every energy need, but there are rolling blackouts. And can you imagine as hot as it's been and the rolling blackouts that come rolling through, and people for up to several hours have no power, no air, and that's because they don't TVA can't provide it, and the system would shut down. So, but there's other options. They want those options, and it's cheaper. So I would love to. I'll keep you updated. I just found out today, and or it might have been yesterday, but anyway, I was thinking about that tonight when I went on, and especially when I looked at my light bill, I looked it up. I went, oh, last month was today this is even higher, and it probably will be higher for August. We'll run the air a lot more. These cooler days will help, but it has been a push, and TVA cannot supply everything, which is amazing because they shut down all the coal fired plants. Well, the news is that they're going to there's a reversal going on. Of course, administration that is, hey Dean, an administration that is pro energy, but TVA planned to close all the power plants. Now they're reconsidering due to power demand. Well, yeah, because you're shutting people off. So this was out of Nashville. So TVA originally planned to close all of its coal-powered plants by the year 2035. Now the energy giant says is reconsidering due to a growing region, the amount of power AI requires to operate. Also, these massive data centers that are coming into Georgia are a big deal. I mean, that and AI and whatever else. So they're basically admitting we can't supply everything with the power supplies we have. At one point, the Tennessee Valley Authority announced it would close all those by 2035, but that's not what they're saying anymore. They said, quote, into the future, as we look at these executive orders, all bets or all chips are on the table. And we're still determining what we're going to do with our coal fleet, said Scott Feeler for TVA's media relations staff. He's just the camera guy. He don't make the decisions. The announcement came during a rare tour of Gallatin's TVA fossil plant. The operations manager, Ashley Donahoe, showed us around the coal-powered steam plant. It was built in the 1950s, and remarkably, it still largely relies on the 70-year-old machinery. Well, it still works. The green portion here, this is the turbine, said Donahoe during the tour. That being said, the TVA has updated technology quite a bit in the control room, which manages the 4 units at the fossil plant. This is where we took the original 1950s technology and we added a high-speed computer to it, said Donahoe. The plant can create electricity by taking pulverized coal and burning it in a massive boiler 4 stories tall at 2,300 degrees Fahrenheit. Interesting. The finer the coal, the better the burn, he said. The boiler is what powers the whole operation. It burns the coal, which creates the steam, which turns the turbines, which produces electricity. I think we get that. So why is TVA considering extending the life of its coal-powered plants, including Gallatin and Cumberland City plant in Stewart County? Some pressure may be coming from the Trump administration, but TVA officials know it's coming from consumers, folks. These people do these news articles. It's coming from consumers. Trump is saying go energy and get coal back and all that, but the people are mad, and they're mad down here because their power is getting cut off during extreme cold, extreme heat. They said that it has to do with a surging demand. We are just seeing explosive growth, and there's a lot of companies moving in. A lot of people are buying houses. Houses are going up, and They said that, let me get back to the article here because it jumped on me. Let's see here. Explosive growth across our region. A lot of the growth, um, sorry, this, you gotta love ads that pop up, and I get it, but it really messes you up when you're trying to look at. Um, Hold on, just jumped all the way back to the beginning and messed me up. But anyway, whether it comes up or not, they have a need for this power, and I know in Georgia it's at a premium. There's a lot of big plants being built, battery producing plants, data centers. These use a massive amount of energy, and they're going to need that. Um, they also say that the surging artificial intelligence arms race, which has already taken place in Tennessee and other communities TVA serves, we have about 11,000 megawatts worth of requests. That's a lot of power. To put that in perspective, 11,000, excuse me, megawatts of power. If I can get this thing to quit jumping on me. Oh my gosh, so frustrating. 11,000 megawatts is enough power to electrify 6 million homes, roughly one third of TVA's entire power grid. TVA is hoping to honor all those requests, at least eventually, saying like admit they can't. The answer is always yes, but we can you wait till we get this plant finished? A big reason why the TVA originally wanted to limit all of its coal plants is because of their effect on the environment. We know that. But coal is still used. They have introduced a lot of scrubbers, a lot of things to protect that. Yeah, combustion used to boilers like that. Yes. TVA is also growing its fleet of natural gas plants like the one next door to the Gallatin fossil plant. As the gas enters the combustors, mixes with the air, ignites that burns and runs through a three-stage turbine, explained the acting foreman. They rely on natural gas when one of the other power plants goes down, as we often see in the summertime. Demand for power really goes up. They are designed to run dead of winter, dead of summer, when the peak is high, to help balance the load across the fleet. Recently, TVA scrapped plans for a 900 megawatt natural gas plant in rural Cheatham County after intense backlash from the community and pressure from the White House. TVA says they're looking at other more industrial sites for the plant. 3 gas plants are already under construction in other communities, including Cumberland City and Stewart County, even though plans to close the coal plant are now on hold. Originally, the first Cumberland fossil unit was slated to close in 2026, the second one in 2028. I think we're just taking that mission of the TVA and carrying it in the 21st century. Yeah, da 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 da. Just admit it, you don't have enough power. And people get very angry in my area, and like they would any area. Yeah, that's right, Dean. They use make bowlers like that. Uh, yes, and I'm going to tell you, man, it's a big deal for people to lose power. It's not just the inconvenience. There's people that are, you know, get sick. They could die. They're on backup systems for oxygen or whatever it is. And there's a lot, and I know they try to limit how long that is. But there years ago, I don't know if they still do it. Years ago, our plant was involved in a program at peak demand. They would actually pay you a rebate back on your power to idle as much equipment as you could and bring that, because these manufacturers pull a lot of energy. So we would shut down some things. We didn't shut down everything, but we shut down as much as we could during like the hours of 5, 4, probably around 4 to about 7, 8ish, somewhere right in there. Then they'd give us the all clear to crank back up, and we used to do that. It was a big savings for the company to do that, but that hasn't happened in 20 years. I mean, it's been a long time, and I just thought it was a pretty good deal. But I don't know if there's still a program like that in Georgia or not. But these power grids are not in great shape across the country. A lot of them, especially as you go west, young man, you get into that, Texas area, Oklahoma, those systems are vulnerable. And all of California is old, decrepit, and failing. And they just keep putting more demand on it. And they're not going to be able to keep up with that demand very much longer. It's just growing. Now, California may, because they got people leaving the state in the droves, but they're going to places like Tennessee, Texas, where there's more pressure being put on the systems that we have in place. I knew it was a bad idea, and I'm no expert or nothing. I knew it was a bad idea when they said they were going to start closing these coal power plants. I'm like, you got nothing to replace it with ready yet, and you're already doing rolling blackouts. What a dumb idea! But they were, they were under a threat of the administration and being pressured and all those things. But you got to have power. I mean, people ain't gonna put up. I was talking. We was down in South Georgia, down in Camilla. I like the name of that town. I talked to the power guy down there, and that's what he said. He said nobody. He said you don't hear from nobody until your power goes out. Then everybody calls you. He said our job is do our best to keep the power up always. And he said we do a pretty good job unless a hurricane's coming through. We understand, but that's truth. You're going to get your phones are going to ring off the hook. Hey, my power's out. What's going on? I want power back. People will pay more for power to make sure that don't happen. But nobody likes a high bill. But they'll pay a high bill versus not having electricity, without a doubt. And I don't know where it ranks. And I was a little shocked. I thought TVA was comparable. I guess I'm wrong because according to the membership down here, the electrical membership, they say they can get cheaper power elsewhere. I don't know if that's Georgia Power, Duke Power. I don't know where that's coming from. Of course, they don't like them encroaching on their territory. But you know what? I remember days when TVA would buy from Duke Power, and quite often that was a big thing at one time because Duke Power seemed to be in pretty good shape of having a lot of excess and was more willing to sell it off and make the money. But I haven't heard about that in a long time. I don't know if it still happens or not. But that's the thing. We're always a day late and a dollar short on these deals. Never are they ahead of the game. Never do they figure out the road situation for they're going to build houses and apartments. They just slam it in there. We don't. I know that they have plans for future growth, but they're always running behind. Nobody wants to put the money into it, so they don't fix up the roads. They don't add all the things that you're going to have, and so it's more dangerous, overcrowded. They don't plan on energy needs as much as they should. They don't put the money into it as they should, and they just keep taxing the system. The list goes on and on. The constant need of more water, or whatever it is. We've had those fights in Georgia too, the water wars. Everybody remembers that. Extreme drought, the lakes were drying up, water table was going down. Alabama, Georgia, Florida, all Tennessee, all fighting over water. You don't hear as much about that now. That was a bad deal back many years ago. There was talk of Georgia tapping into the Tennessee River, and they said those survey lines were wrong, and one corner of the river fell within Georgia. Remember that thing? And they were delivering bottles of water to the Capitol in Atlanta in the name of my senator up here. I won't say his name. He laughs about it. He called heck about that. Well, they never redrew the lines. They never got access to the Tennessee River. It just rained a whole lot more. But eventually, something will happen again, and Atlanta keeps growing, and they're going to have to do something. I mean, I don't know. I've never tasted the water off of, but I wonder if it would be worth the money to put a desalination plant or two off the coast of, say, a Georgia or South Carolina or something, and use that. I mean, people do that around the world. In the Middle East, you only have 2 months of rainy season. You may not get another drop. So what they get, it rains a lot, but what they get, that's it. So they can only grow so much because they don't have enough, water. And that's the real war. I always said the real war was not over oil in the Middle East; it was over water. And there were groups within countries that were trying to divert waterways away from Israel, and they got stopped in that. But there was active work. It's like, it's our water. We're not giving you your water. Well, it's everybody's water. I mean, it flows from your nation into another nation. That'd be like back, when the neighbors would get into a fight and they'd dam up the river to get water for their cows and cattle and whatever. And then you had, range wars and stuff over things like that back in the, American West when there wasn't as much law out there. It was the law of force, and people would do whatever. There was really no law. And it happens that way around the world, the fight over water. And, if you don't have water, you can go without food for a while. You can go without water long. And so, I don't want to go without either. But water is incredibly important. and good clean water. And we've had our problems in America with good clean drinking water. There's failures all over the place. You remember the horror stories of Flint, Michigan. And I'm telling you, they've tried, in some cases, tried to shut down people's springs and stuff from selling water off their springs. I know in one case around where I live, not been that long ago, they tried to stop an old boy and saying it was contaminated and da da da. Well, he or somebody brought up people to do studies on it. They found out it was cleaner than the water the county had. There you go. I mean, it was good, clean water. So, that's the thing. They wanted to control all that. And it was on his property, his spring, and he charged a nominal fee and made a little money off of it. People like to go get them jugs and fill them up with some good spring water. I remember doing that as a kid. I would go down, and there's a couple places you can still go, coming right off those rocks, good, clean, cold, fresh water. And people used to go get that, take their milk jugs. Dean, I don't know if you're still in here. I bet y'all did that. I bet y'all did that long ago. Go down there. That was fun. That was a fun trip. You just had to watch out for a snake or two. But well, they don't like that. The government entities, they don't like you getting free anything. They want to claim all that and say, "Oh, you can't do that. That's contaminated." No, it's not. It's better than your water. They don't like to hear that. Uh, Dean says we used to have a underground well back years ago. Yeah, there's a lot of people on well water around here. I mean, there's a lot of rural areas, and people use the wells. My uncle, uh, not that far from here, really. I remember they had the pump house and they had the water, and it was good water. It was real good water. So I wasn't used to that. I was a suburban kid, but I'd go down and spend time on the farm, so I did get all of that experience in doses on weekends and stuff. And every once in a while you had to go out there and work on your pump. But it's great water. That's why you don't want to be contaminating the ground ever. That's bad, and it goes down, and people are pulling that water. So you want to keep those paints and chemicals and whatever off the ground, dispose of properly because they're good. And then if sometimes things happen, pressures or whatever, and those walls will collapse, and you have to redo it. It's expensive, but I know a guy. He says we have great spring water, but the pipe collapsed, and we're going to have to do something. He said I miss it. He said we have city water, but that was the better water. But they just get used to doing, and for really, it is cheap if you consider how cheap water bills are. Really, in relation to everything else, it is very cheap. To be honest, uh, he said there was a spring water place on the side of 27 outside the battlefield. Well, if this is an area filled with springs, Rock Spring, Cloud Spring. There's springs all over the place here. Some of them are covered up by facilities. That's why they have problems with their flooring and stuff. Cave-ins or whatever, washout. Is Some of them got built on top of stuff like that. But this is an area that had a lot of springs. Uh, I can think of Cave Spring. That's further down, obviously, but a lot of springs, and most of them are probably just covered up now. But yeah, that's good stuff, man. That's God's way to give you good, clean water. And people in Flint, Michigan, would have loved to have had good, clean water like that. So I don't know that our area was also known for hot springs, which a lot of areas are. I'm thinking of Hot Springs, Arkansas, but our area back. If you go back, you got to go back pre-war between the states. There was a place in Catoosa County that was a hotel. It was right next, and they believed it was healing waters, and people would come from all over, and go in those in that. It wasn't a huge place, but it was decent sized. But they would go in, and it was believed that you could get over illnesses and aches and pains and whatever in those waters. And it was also you could take a wagon ride up to or a horse ride up the mountain there, and there was area where there was a lot of flowers that were planted. It was kind of a courting place too. Young men and girls would come there and picnic and take the ride up and see the flowers. And so I miss that. I wish that was still around. I think the area is pretty much the water's still there, but it all just died out over time, probably due to the war. But there's pictures of it, drawings of it. But definitely had that, and it was that's very common around the South. In fact, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, what was he doing besides doing something he shouldn't? Warm Springs, Georgia. I just went by there not long ago. He went there, and for well, he did have physical problems, right? He did, but he also had other things waiting on him there. We know the story, right? Yeah, he had a lot of hot springs, Dean. That's for sure. Oh, in fact, that's where things went bad for him. Right? He was very sick. I guess they could say he died a happy man. I don't know if such a thing is possible, but Georgia's well known for stuff like that. Arkansas is well known for it, and I suppose around here there's probably many others I don't know about, and due to different things subterranean going on. Yeah, he did die there, brother. I would have loved to visit. We were down there. I just didn't have the time. We had to get back. I was kind of on a time constraint, but I was within not long of being there. I mean, just a few miles, and I was like, oh, I'd like to visit. Just couldn't do it. Warm Springs, Georgia. Yeah, the president died there with not his wife. If you know the story, if you know, then you know, right? Oh my! You've been there twice. Well, you're a traveling man. They should have wrote that song about you, Dean, the traveling man. He's gotten around. He saw some stuff. I like that. I've often said if you just traveled in Georgia, if you just traveled in Georgia, you could spend most of your life probably just visiting interesting things and places in Georgia, and not run out of stuff to see. It is a state field. That's not to say others are not, but it is a state field with interesting places, museums, natural things to look at, historic things. I mean, it is a great state for that. It really is. Dean says he's been to Tombstone, Arizona. Tombstone, Arizona. Well, that's cool too, man. Been to Tombstone. I've never been there either. That's a place I'd like to visit, though. Absolutely, I'd like to go to Tombstone. Did you go to the OK Corral? did you put on your cap gun and out see how good you were on the draw? Oh, there's a lot of places out there you can go visit outlaws' graves and stuff. The ones who died very young. Uh, yes. Oh, that's cool, man. I like that. Absolutely. I love it, man. Some people say when I get old and retire, I'm going to travel, but a lot of times people just get to where they don't feel like it. Some do. I know a couple that's done that. Oh, he went to Boot Hill, the old Boot Hill. I like in the movies they will have those those sayings on the front of the tombstone. Supposed to represent long ago. Um, it have something like he pulled his gun in the card game. He pulls his gun no more. So it's something some little saying. Uh, Here he lies in Boot Hill, or whatever it is. I think that's funny. I like that. The old show Gunsmoke. Early in the series, he would walk through that cemetery, and they would sometimes show the front of the graves, and you had little sayings like that. I thought that was pretty cool. Hey, good evening, Sigmund. And Dean says he's been to Vegas. You can't talk about though, right? Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? And good evening to you, Sigmund, and hope you are well tonight. I'm just hanging, man. I got no real agenda tonight. I've got no outline. I'm just having fun. I just on here talking to friends, and Wanted a good, relaxing end to my evening. I'm gonna load a couple things up in our radio station, and then get ready for bed and just relax and get ready for a work day tomorrow. But I appreciate everybody stopping in. Sin City, that's right. You know, AC/DC wrote a song about that called, yes, Sin City. And the great Bon Scott, uh, short life. Well, I guess he lived up near 40 or 30 something. I don't know. But Bon Scott, Sin City. Yeah, it is that. It's a growing city, too. Uh, you know, sports stadiums being built. You know, the Raiders. They're no longer the Los Angeles Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. That is a state of the art. That is the coolest thing, by the way. I'm glad you reminded me of that. By the way, that's the way my brain works. Is their field is made? It's a natural grass, and it comes out on this massive track, and it can get sunlight and rain if it's raining, or they have a watering system, and then they roll that thing back in, and that is cool. So that you're not playing on turf, you're playing on grass. That's cool. Dean says he's been to Niagara Falls. You didn't jump in a barrel, did you? No, he just says he went to both sides. That I think my sister did that. My baby sister. I think she went to Niagara Falls. I would love to visit. Um, I think they said the Canadian side is the better side for viewing, right? Because you're viewing back of that, see more of it coming over from the American side. But what a fantastic just the sound, the power of that. I would love to see that. So I guess you had to have did you have to have a passport back then, I guess, to cross over? Or do they have some sort of special tourist thing for that? I would say today you would have to have passport. Probably then too. I don't know when it was. Yeah, Canada's better. I've heard that. Canada's better. Um, but yeah, but those numbskulls who jump off that thing, stupid, stupid. Talk about jacklegs. How dumb you got to be to jump in to that. I mean, water is power. There's always adventurers. Some would call it stupidity. They would call it adventurers. There's always adventurers that say, "I'll do it. I'll do it." No, they just let you pass. Okay, I want that money, money, money. Yeah, that's cool. You've been around to some interesting places, Dean. Are you like Forrest Gump? Did you get to go to the White House and shake the president's hand and say, "I got to pee"? I have too, brother. Now I have seen that. Ohio, Ohio, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, and Missouri. Those are the states that I have seen the Amish, or in some cases, it could have been Mennonites. Uh, but I went to a steakhouse in Ohio, I think it was. I went to a Longhorn Steakhouse by myself. I was traveling, speaking in churches, and I wanted a steak. I was frugal, but that night I said I want a steak, so I went to this. I think I had to pass someone going down the road in a buggy on the way, but anyway, in front of a Walmart. It was Longhorn or Texas Roadhouse. I don't remember. I think it was Longhorn. Anyway, in front of the restaurant and Walmart there, I'd never seen this before in my life. They had the horse, the thing for the horses, the telephone. I'd never saw that before. I thought, does anybody use that? Then sure enough, there was I went in the restaurant, sit down, and it wasn't about 10 minutes. Here come some folks, young folks. I think they were courting. They weren't married. They were young, and they sat right across from me. When they left, they were there. The buggies and the horses and everything were parked there. And I thought, how cool is that? I think I got a picture somewhere. I don't know, but I said, well, they at least come in here and eat a good steak. That's cool. Some of them don't do things like that, I think, but and I did see one in it might have been Pennsylvania. I don't think I'd crossed in Ohio yet, and I could have been Ohio, but anyway, I was trying to get back on the interstate. And this guy rolled up to the McDonald's. It was a station and a McDonald's, and he rolls up in his buggy, and I'm like, oh man, I got to talk to this guy. So I went in, and he's getting a sausage biscuit or something. So I asked him. I said, "Hey, friend, you know where I get some of that Amish jelly right here? I was going to take some back to my wife." And I'll never forget this. He said, "Well, yes." He had this accent and everything. "Well, yes, I can't talk like him." He said, "You go down here to Aunt Jenny or something like that. I'm making it up. I don't remember. And you turn there, and you'll go up, and there'll be the big tree that's down. You know that big tree. You turn there, in the first house on the left, and she'll take care of you." And I said, "Thank you very much." I got in my car, got on the interstate, came home. I didn't want to tell him. He was trying to be so helpful. I don't know who Aunt Jenny was, and I don't know where that big tree was. And I was in a hurry, and I was like, nah. I was hoping he had some in the buggy. But no, it didn't happen, and I didn't get the jelly. But I have bought it at the Amish store. So, but it's like it's something throws your brain off when you run into an Amish at the McDonald's, and I don't know. It's just like these two worlds colliding. It's just interesting. You know, nice people, but kind of a closed culture. Absolutely. I mean, they'll help people. They're great people, but they keep among themselves. And they don't do a lot of things that other people do. They live a cleaner lifestyle, a very hard lifestyle. They'll build a barn in the day kind of folks, and have done it recently. But you can sometimes learn a lot when you talk to them. I was talking to a pastor, and he was living in a community where it's pretty heavy, and he couldn't get nowhere with them. Like they wouldn't talk to him. But he broke the ice with one guy, one of the Amish neighbors. His cows got out, and he sees them out looking. Him and his daughter saw him and his family out looking for their cows. And he asked him, and normally they just, like, no, we're good. We don't need no help, whatever. And that guy said, I've got to find my cows. And so the pastor said, hey, we'll help you. And they helped him get them all back. Took a while. Them cows that got out. I mean, they just kept moving on. Got them all back. And he said, so he asked him and his wife, there was no kids yet. He asked him and his wife if they would come to dinner. And he knows for a surety that guy would have never accepted. But he thought, well, he did help me get my cows. And he said, we'd be glad to. And they did it. And then they had the pastor and his wife over their house for dinner. And that created a friendship whereby he was then able to share his ministry, the gospel, and all that. And their families were very close. What did he ever become a Christian? I don't know, but he was building a bridge, and I like that he was doing that. What a great thing. Dean says, been to NASA in Florida and Huntsville, Alabama. That's cool. I've been by the one in Huntsville, never been to it. Never been to the one in Florida. I would like to see a launch. Did you ever see a launch? I mean, not on TV. I want to see a launch from the ground. That's cool stuff right there. Just to see that. It's great watching on TV, and now it's internet. And these dadgum, whether you like Elon or not, and all that, I don't care. It's still dang cool to see those rocket boosters come back down and then land on the same spot they took off from. That is like the coolest thing ever. The first time I saw that happen, I didn't know they were doing that. And there was in my email at work, it popped up and said something about the boosters coming back, or whatever, and the rockets, whatever. And so I turned it on. I thought it was a joke. I thought, no, there ain't no way that thing's coming back down. And I thought it was some kind of a gimmick, but no, they really do it. And I was like, wow. Of course, I guess if you believe they never went to the moon, maybe you could say they never did this, but flies in the face of all them people that are watching it. But I just think that's cool. It's really neat. And I like stuff like that. Used to be school groups would leave here and go to the one in Huntsville, and all the kids. And for some reason, I never got to do that. I have been to Biloxi. I didn't do any gambling, but I did. I've been to Biloxi. Biloxi. Yeah, I've been there. You're just on the road again. You're like Willie Nelson on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. And world traveler you are. And he just got back from Dawsonville. That was a nice little trip. So yeah, where have you not been that you would like to go? Somewhere that's within no more than 3 or 4 hours. Is there something that's no more than that? Any direction you go, is there something you could think of, or further? Don't have to be that. That you think, I wish I'd done that. I need to do that before I get, too old to do it. Is there a place that you would like to go? I was coming to Georgia once again. I'm always in a hurry. Oh dang, Hawaii. That's a little bit further out. We're not driving the Toyota to Hawaii unless it's delivered by ship. I've never been to Hawaii either. Expensive place to go. Islands are. Expensive place to visit. Very expensive place to live. You better be rolling down some jack because that's a lot of money. That's an absolutely a lot of money when you're talking about going to Hawaii. So, but you got to be careful out there, Dean. True Hawaiians, they don't really like, the mainland folks. We're we're like just bad people, They don't like us. True Hawaiians, they don't care for us. It's a strange relationship we have with Hawaii. Very, blue state, obviously, and but people talk about Hawaii and Alaska a lot. And third in that would be Ireland, probably Scotland, then Australia as places of destinations. Dean says, I want to go to the Daytona 500. Well, yeah, and I'm surprised you haven't already been. I mean, really? I mean, come on, that's not that far. What is that, 7 hours from here? Something like that? Six and a half, 7, 8 hours, whatever. It's not that. Yeah, I'm sure it's within 6 and 6.5, maybe 7. It's not that far. It is, but it isn't. I mean, drive through Georgia and just keep on trucking. You're right there. I'd like to go to that. I like the Daytona 500. I'd love to go at any race, but I'd love to go to that race. Absolutely, the old Daytona 500, and see, you know, Kyle Busch beat Chase Elliott. I'm just kidding. I don't like Kyle, and I'm just picking at you. For the win, Kyle Busch. Oh my goodness. And we go to these places, and sometimes we buy useless junk, which that's right, Dean. Uh, just kidding. Sometimes we buy this useless junk, the touristy stuff, and that gets broke and is gone within a short time. But people will hold on to like sand in a jar, a coconut, a rock. I don't know. People bring back little stuff like that. That'll sit on a shelf in a garage till they're dead. You see that dirt right over there, boy? That dirt right over, that'd be by the way my dad said, boy, that dirt right there come from and he wouldn't say something, he wouldn't say Hawaii or not like he'd probably say something like that. I come from Albertville, Alabama. That'd be my way my daddy would say it. It'd be somewhere like that. You know, and I remember forever and a day my dad, and I think he did it once in his whole life. He traveled south. I don't even know if I was alive then. I don't remember. I don't think I know I didn't go, but if I was. And he would say, "Oh, best watermelons come out of South Georgia, boy. Best watermelons." And for some reason, he traveled down there or had plans to travel down, and he got one. And every time we talk about watermelons, he'd always have to tell me that. Well, South Georgia's got the best watermelons, boy. I'm like, well, we don't have that around here. I mean, sometimes they would bring them up. We have had people truck them up here and sell them off the back of their truck or whatever. But usually ours are Sand Mountain around here, and they're good. They be good. But I don't know if they're better or not. I know they're good. They got good peanuts down there. I really didn't hear a lot about watermelons. I was down there. I hear more corn, soybean, cotton, and yes, corn. Lots of corn. A lot of fields in South Georgia, middle to South Georgia. Outside the cities, that's all that's there. And thank God for them. Thank God for them. I love me some peanuts, and I like the fact they come from Georgia. A lot of them. Uh, I didn't care for the peanut president, but I did appreciate those peanuts in Plains, Georgia. Plains, Georgia. Um, you said we have to what, Dean? We have to. Uh, what is the we have to? What do we got to do? What do we got to do, Dean? I didn't catch that. It's like a military communication. It was cut off. I'm like I'm like on the Alabama sub, and we got the XO and the commander and all, and they're fighting over communication. No, I didn't communication. That's an incomplete message. We go last command given. We're going to nuke them. That's a great movie. What a great movie. I love that. That's when I was at. Oh, buy souvenirs. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you got to have something that has the name of the place on it. Tie dyes. People like get the tie dye T-shirt or the spray painted shirt, whatever. I would, Myrtle Beach, Gatlinburg, wherever, Branson. I will say this: there's a place. Now, some people said that sounds horrible. There's only two locations, Dean. If you've never been here, you need to go. It is the Throwed Roll restaurant. There's only two. There's one in Branson, Missouri, I think it is, and one in Alabama. And of course, I'm going to one in Alabama. I guess it's still there. They carry around they fill you up out of buckets, but they throw the rolls. I don't know why. I just want to go do it. I've talked to a lot of people that's been there, but I don't think that's what it's called. There's the name of the restaurant, but they throw the rolls. Everybody knows what you're talking about when you say throw roll, but they zip by your head. It's like incoming. That's like the fish place out. What is it, Seattle? The fish market. They throw them fish out. Here you go, big old fish. They're catching them fish. That'd be cool too. I don't know. I don't know if I really want to catch a fish. Roll's one thing. I like fish. I like eating them mostly, but catching a wet old fish, he sleeps with the fishes. Got to go back to The Godfather. But yeah, I would. I got to go there. Just had a friend, he's a coworker. He came back from Orange Beach, Alabama. Said that was a good place to go. Everybody goes to these beaches. They're trying to get away from the touristy area just enough that they don't have to deal with the spring breakers and the typical tourists, annoying, loud, fighting, drinking, aggravation. They want to go somewhere where it's family friendly. You can, you don't got to deal with all that. And I've heard in Florida from several people that there's people saying they're not going to go back to certain areas of Florida anymore. The places they have visited for over 20 to 25 years because of the problems that are happening with those places. So, I get that. I get that. There was I've been to Pensacola several times. There was a change in the ordinance in Myrtle Beach, and they stopped these motorcycle convoys that were coming in and taking over the city. They put some clamps on that. Daytona and other cities have begun to put clamps on some of the spring break activities. Atlanta gave up its Freaknik years ago after all the damage and carnage that caused. You just can't, they're not designed for these people to invade like that. That's like a moving army of thousands and thousands of people, and it packs the roads. Nobody can get around. And some people, they're acting up. It's not family friendly. You got to shield the kids' eyes. It's bad. You don't want them to see the things that's being shown. And, the locals, the locals are screaming about it and saying, you got to do something. It's ridiculous. And in a lot of cases, they've absolutely put some stops in place on some of those activities. I get it one way. I kind of like those, like the ones that travel out and they're going like the Trail of Tears. the toy runs and all that. That's cool. But if you're going to an area and just saturate a small area and it locks it down, that's not really fun for anybody. And they advertise for it, so they've put some things in place on that you're not supposed to be able to do that. The water is good to not, even if it is out of a plastic bottle. Hey, folks, don't forget Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is affiliated with the Southern Fried Podcast. Make the switch today. A great American company. A great American company. I can say that. Hey, right on time, right behind me, Patriot Mobile. Mobilizing conservatives. Yes, they believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, First and Second Amendment, pro-life, America First, baby. And their customer service is based in Texas. I'm trying to say Georgia, Texas. You're not being shipped out to some foreign country where they can't understand you and you can't understand them. Make the switch today. Use the promo code cornbread, and you'll help the Southern Fried, and you'll get some cheaper cost of great prices, and you'll be dealing with a company of faith, conservatism, America First, and you'll also help the Southern Fried. We don't apologize for that whatsoever. Also, our SFP coffees. You can find links on our pages and all over the place. I should put it here, but I don't have it handy right in front of me. But it's at our Shopify account, and they're very reasonable. Shipping's included if you're in the continental United States. The SFP coffees, many blends. I've got over 40. I know we have 22 up on the site, 22 different blends, I think it is. But then there's differences in that. You get single-use cups as well. And also Mammoth Nation. We have a QR code for that. You become a monthly supporter. You help the Southern Fried. I'm a lifetime member of Mammoth Nation. Hey, I'm just nailing it tonight. There it is right behind me. What timing? Mammoth Nation. W Energy Drinks was our first affiliate. Use a promo code Southern Fried. I use it all the time. I've got a tub right here. I need to refill. This was the Generalist. Oh, excuse me. This is a mystery flavor. It was very good. Very good. Well, it smells good. No sugars added. No crash. No shakes. And this will get you going. I love it. I just shake it up in water. I've got the containers. They run deals all the time. You can get a BOGO a lot of times on those. You'll get 10% off with using Southern Fried. Our store, Threadless, I need a link for that too. Shirts, hats, just about anything we have there with our logos. We're getting ready to load up a lot more. And now Payworld. Payworld is a company that is there catering to small business. We may actually become my TV shut down. We may actually become working with them because as we grow, we're going to need more of that, and we were trying to evaluate that. But since we're now, they came to us, and I like what I've heard, and we may work with them. Payworld, though, this is targeted to businesses. You can find all this stuff, and then lastly, I'll say. Go listen to our new radio station, Cornbread Nation Radio. Love that. Yeah, the shirts are cool, Dean. Thank you for ordering those. The racing shirt. I've got to get one for me and my wife. She loves them. They look great. And they offer, in some colors, the bigger sizes. Hey, we like our shirts to be loose, not too tight. And you can get those extra sizes. Us big boys, we need extra size. We don't want to have a shirt that's riding up our belly. And they have the logo is great, if I may say so myself. And we've got some of those floating out there in the world, and hopefully a lot more of them will go as more and more people get involved in the racing show. And we've got to get some other ones up for sports and things. We've got a lot of ideas going up, and it's very reasonable. Our profit margins are very slim on everything. We try to, it's tough times, very tough times. We don't make it tougher for anybody else. We appreciate your support. You can also make donations, buy us a coffee, or just hit us up on our Venmo or PayPal or whatever. I'm just trying to rattle through them. That's our commercials from now. I'm not going to say them again. Dean says he likes the extra large. I need a little bit bigger than that, Dean. You're a big old boy, but just how big a boy are you? Well, I'm pretty big. I got to have something bigger than that. And yes, I didn't miss that Coca-Cola Museum Atlanta is interesting. Yes. You can also visit the Jimmy Carter Library there. Yes, you can. Margaret Mitchell, who wrote Gone with the Wind. There's a lot of things. There's a great Confederate museum in Atlanta. Really big. The General, Kennesaw, Georgia. We got it back from Tennessee. I've been there a couple of times. But yeah, I do like the shirts being a little. I don't like something that it aggravates me. I like something I can move in. Have a little bit of room anyway. It don't have to be a tent, but something that's a little bit bigger that you can maneuver in. You don't, So I appreciate your shopping there. Like I said, we kept those as reasonable as we could, so that we still have a margin there, and that helps the Southern Fried reinvesting in the podcast. Yes, reinvesting in the podcast and making it better and better and better. And streams are getting expensive. Electricity, equipment breakdowns, new things you want to get involved with, festival entrance fees. There's always somebody got their hand out. And we try to we're in a very frugal operation. We take no money to ourselves yet. That'll come later if the podcast grows. Right now, it's just all of you invested in the podcast. That's what we like it anyway. When I retire, maybe it'll be bigger. But if it's not, it's not. Don't even worry about it. But we do appreciate it because it stays within, and it stays right back in the podcast. So, and you get a nice shirt or coffee or whatever out of it, and that's cool too. Well, it's a little after 10. I guess I probably should get off here. If I'm going to accomplish anything, I need to update the radio station. And I do appreciate those that have been in here. And we've had a handful. And for those who will watch the show in the near future, thank you. And again, this is kind of an add-in show. I like to do that. Good night to you, Dean. We both got to work tomorrow. And I'm going to go out. I never played this song as an intro or extra. It's one that I did here a few weeks ago, and I really liked it. I was trying to really get something else. It wasn't what I wanted, but it was something great, and I really liked it. I just love the beat of the song. It's aggressive, but I was working on an idea, and the idea is still cool, but this came out of that as I was taking a break from being frustrated not to get what I wanted. I made this, and I really like this song. It's just got good energy, a good beat, and it gets you going. Salute, Dave in the AM, the Cornbread Man. We'll see you in the morning. 2 shows in the morning, probably 2 shows tomorrow night. Take care. God bless. Pray for America. And, serve the Lord Jesus Christ. Find you a good church to go to if you don't already have it. And join us on Sunday morning for Sunday Morning in the Word. And we will definitely, we'll bring a word on something. Take care, my friends.
Rock and roll redneck, boot kickers, my name, your Jack at life for the southern people like a small town. Nothing's real, mama's still doing wrong. Don't tell the preacher, nothing really changes except the weather. If you can't see